Hey guys, Strider here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Destiny 2, which might be something a little different for some of you guys. Particularly, we're going to be taking a look at the sunsetting that's going to be happening in this upcoming expansion. But real quick, before we get into everything you need to know about what sunsetting is, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if this video was helpful at all, and if you would like more content like this. So, let's get into it. So to begin with, sunsetting in Destiny is a term that describes capping a season of weapons at a certain light or power level. Sunsetting has been described as making gear only last for a year, so you can expect any gear you acquire to be only viable for about that long of a time. For example, if we take a look at some legendary weapons here and inspect them, you'll notice how to the left of the stats of the weapon, there is a power or light level on the weapon. The number in yellow is going to tell you the absolute cap of that item's power, and well, the white number is going to tell you what power it is currently. A lot of people might not know this, but sunsetting goes for your armor as well as your weapons, but so far only with legendary gear. Now I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of people's favorite gear that's not going to be viable in in-game content anymore. For example, any gear that came on or before Season of the Undying will have a 1060 power cap, and each season after will tell you the cap if you inspect the items. If we look at some Season of Dawn items here, you'll notice that they have a 1260 power cap, showing that with the expansion the power cap will be raised 200 levels. This gives us some insight on how much we'll need to grind to hit that cap in the new season and expansion, but also shows that because of such a power difference between this season and the next, if we were to use these legendaries in the new season, enemies would be immune and they would also one-shot us from the power difference. From what I know, the reason behind this sunsetting hasn't obviously been put out there, but by comparing some guns that will sunset and ones that won't for a while, you can kind of speculate on why it's happening. For example, there are a lot of guns that have been trampling in all content for a long time. Some guns that might come to mind are the Mountaintop, Recluse, 21% Delirium, Wendigo, all weapons like these. These are guns we love but also might hate at the same time. For example, I guarantee no one enjoys getting one-shot by a Mountaintop, mowed down by a Crucible, or even going against a Revoker player that just keeps shooting shots because they get refunded to them if they miss. It isn't a pleasant experience for the one getting killed, but it's pleasant if you're the one doing the killing. And while you could just say, just get better, forehead, that isn't necessarily where Bungie is looking. The new Recluse, or Death Adder, is quite literally the same weapon as the Recluse, but just kinda worse. It has worse stats, no damage rolls. It feels good because of the perks that can come with it that increase stability and things like that, but it's definitely not putting out the same damage as our Recluse. With our Mountaintop replacement, the Truth Teller, you can tell it's more focused on PvE and crowd control rather than doing quick high single target damage. It doesn't necessarily have the same velocity, and it doesn't explode on impact, but at least it is capable of pumping out the same damage as the Mountaintop. You just have to work a little bit more for it. We can see that the rolls on guns this season, and some sandbox changes, Bungie is straying away from being a more, unquote, brain-dead game. Basically, they're trying to make you work more for your rolls to be as good as they were before, making perks like Feeding Frenzy a little bit worse than before, making rolls like Feeding Frenzy worse initially, but the more kills you get, making it better. Same with multi-kill clip, and trying to remove perks that are, well, simpler to proc, like Master of Arms and Killing Tally. However, this isn't all bad, surprisingly. For example, there are still pretty good weapons to grind for this season that are probably going to be viable for quite some time. They might not be as good as some Pinnacle or God Roll weapons, but they're definitely up there. It's hard to necessarily say where Destiny 2 is going to go with the new metas, so in a future video, I'll try and tell you guys what roles and synergies you're going to want to run for this and upcoming seasons. But for now, here's kind of a long list of some weapons you're going to want to look out for. 600 RPM auto rifles like the Gnawing Hunger or the Summoner are extremely good in Crucible right now with the roles they come with. Also, they feel very good, honestly. Slug shotguns have gotten a pretty sizable PvE buff, and if you land your shots, they've always been pretty potent in Crucible. The new Iron Banner weapons like Forward, Path, and Fool's Remedy also feel very good and come with very good rolls, so those are going to be ones you want to keep. Bite of the Fox seems like it won't be too bad either. The new Icolo shotgun that drops in the dungeon seems like it rivals the old Icolos, honestly. Also, a lot of the new pyramid weapons like Whispering Slab, False Promises, Cold Denial, and Falling Guillotine are very good choices. For the armor, you're going to want to try and only keep ones that roll with 60 plus total stats. You're going to want to try and get the most points in the stats that you think you use the most. Personally, mine are going to be Recovery and Intellect. Make sure their power cap is at least 1260 so that when the new season or expansion comes, you'll be able to use them. And so, while that's all for now, sunsetting might overall seem like a bad thing or even kind of a sloppy fix that Bungie's doing. But at least it's going to give them a fresh slate. They'll be able to put more variety in their weapons and make more changes without worrying how the god tier weapons we already have will get too overpowered. But that might just be me putting too much hope in Bungie, if we're being honest. All in all, I appreciate you guys for getting to the end of the video, and if you want, please give me your feedback in the comments below and rate the video as you see fit. But for now, thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.